Hello, welcome to this video. This is all about Hot Fuzz filming locations, and yes, I appreciate this isn't the police station in the film, but it's as close as we're going to get today. Normally we do a travel channel about all our journeys in our camper van, but I'm going to do this video as a little separate one. Hot Fuzz is one of my most favourite films, so join us on a bit of location spotting in Wells, or as it's known, Sandford, Gloucestershire. Yarp. Right, so we're going to do a typical movie thing here and use a bit of artistic license. Obviously the police station used in the film Hot Fuzz wasn't the police station in Wells. It was actually somewhere in Bushy, which is obviously London way, I think, or certainly south. However, because Hot Fuzz is about the police and we obviously want to feature something policey in it, they've still got this decorative swan. It's just the one swan actually outside the police station that was decorated to commemorate the film. What's the matter with you? Brain freeze? No, brain wave. It's alright Andy, it's only bolognese. You ever fired your gun jumping through the air and gone ah? The actual police station is all together with the fire and the ambulance and stuff like that. Can't see any sign of a Vauxhall Astra or a Subaru Impreza, so we can assume they're not here today. This road was used in the film very briefly in an outdoor situation at night when Nicholas and Danny come back from the pub and they go to Danny's house to watch Bad Boys 2 or Point Break. Okay, this one with the palm tree is number 30, believe it or not. It's had an extension built on the side now. There you go, Danny Butterman's house. Okay, so this is the little theatre, which is also where they held the Romeo and Juliet, shall we say, murder, because they certainly murdered William Shakespeare, as they say. These are the steps that you see Danny and Nicholas coming down. Oh, you do realise that's the man you'd done for speeding earlier? Yeah, we can't go in and watch shit, unfortunately, because we can't accept gifts from people that we've officially rebuked, so jog on. Okay, so walking round the corner, this is the part where you see the first hooded figure standing by the stage door sign. Sign is slightly different now, but it is this area, and this will be the guy or girl that murders Martin Blower and Eve. This is St Cuthbert's. You're looking now at the part where the village fete was held. I'm walking to it from the direction that you don't normally see. So when I get to the memorial thing there, I'll spin the camera and you'll get the view of the houses behind me, which are there, which you do see in the film. This is obviously where Tim Messenger met his fate. And yeah, let's have a look in there. Now, although I've watched the film many times, getting the actual perspective, get it right this time. I got told off on my Detectorists locations for saying perspective. I think that tree will be the tree that they have a bench under and they're sitting by, but I'm not 100% on that. And then obviously the fate is all in this area here and pointing down that way, I think, because I vaguely think in the film you can see that shop in the background, so I'm hoping I've got the angles right. I'm not going to be one of these super nerds that marries it up to still photographs. There are a few of them on the internet that have done it really well, but I do these videos a lot for my memories, as well as for other people to have a look at. So yeah, definitely this area here. Anyway, you know, Tim Messenger wasn't available to get his tombola win. Too much of Joyce's lemonade, perhaps. And he will be waiting round the corner at 3 p.m. to tell Nicholas something very, very interesting. Unfortunately, he meets his demise. I'm also 100% guessing here. Obviously, some of these trees could have been used. You know, when they're filming the search in the rain and they're both standing there, and the two detectives are complaining that they should be in the pub. Some of this could have been used as well, this area, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to try and walk over to where Tim Messenger got squished. This is the area where Tim Messenger was stood, waiting for Nicholas. See the view up there. All the turrets are still on the top. And then he stood there and splat the rat indeed. Maybe that was a bit of foreshadowing. Very good. I'd never thought of that before, and I've watched this film so many times. Okay, so I'm walking up this side of the road. This is where Sergeant Angel is chasing Pete, who's just stolen the biscuits. Obviously the cathedral has been taken out of the film, so you don't see that. But Pete is running towards me, if you think of it that way, along this road. It's very, very busy though. Obviously we're just in between Christmas and New Year as I'm filming this. But yeah, this is where your chase scene is going on. This is a guess now, but I think this could be where the Jeep is that Sergeant Angel jumps across the bonnet as he's chasing. I'd have to double check that. It's definitely along this road somewhere. As I say, I'm not going to go full on nerd with exact locations, but we are definitely somewhere along this street. Where we are now, Peacock's was the Summerfield. This is the front of the shop. Obviously a lot of the stuff was filmed around the back, but you did see Nicholas run out of this and chase Pete down the road there. So there you go. The local supermarché is no more. This is the most exciting part for me, simply because this is where the main bit of action starts. This is the car park of what used to be Summerfield's, and at the back here you can see the famous rear entry where the final fight kicks off and Nicholas gets thrown out of the glass doors. They're all over to the left there. Your point of reference has to be these lights. Not 100% sure. I thought there was another light here by this door to the left, but this is definitely it. Obviously with the angles they use you don't see a lot of this, so this is definitely the back end. As I say, I think they are all crouching down here by that wall, and then Nicholas gets thrown out and hits these railings. Okay, probably the most famous location, certainly for me, because they actually used this interior as well. This is the shop where they buy the cornettos and where the famous line is uttered. It's just the one Swan actually, and it's just the one murderer actually. This is it. So this is a very faded picture, but in the window, look, wanted Swan, reward for capture, 2 feet tall, long slender neck, orange and black bill. If found, contact Mr. P.I. Staker or Sergeant Nicholas Angel, and Sergeant is spelt wrong, exactly the same as Tim Messenger did. Sanford's most wanted. Yeah. P.I. Staker, piss taker. Oh, come on. Yeah. This is the shop. There's no sign on the door, unfortunately, saying only one school child at a time. But I am going to go in there. You've got to, aren't you? This man's being really lovely. Look, he's in the shop used in Hot Fuzz. And he's going to go.
No luck catching them swans then?
It's just the one swan, actually.
No luck catching them murderers then?
It's just the one murderer, actually. Thank you very much. What's your name?
Cheers. Anthony.
Anthony, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers. Have a good day. Okay, here is the Swan Hotel that you see Nicholas arrive at. Actually, the sign has been painted out there. Across that black banner you can see. But I am going to do the in thing and stand there underneath it. I think we best go for a jog. This is the Crown. Hot Fuzz was filmed using this as the pub, although not inside as we've said. We're now going to try and get a seat and have some dinner.
When's your birthday?
22nd of February.
What year?
Every year. Right, so that was dinner in the Crown. As I say, they did not use that as internal shots, but there will be some pictures of the cast that I've inserted. Right, so off to find some more locations, and I do think straight up there they are the wooden gates that Mr. Staker is stood in front of. Okay, so we are in the main area for the film now, where the shootout occurred, etc, etc. Obviously, as I've said, the cathedral was airbrushed out. You don't see that because Sandford is supposed to be a village, not a city. I will quickly pan round, but I'll explore some of the places in more detail. There's the Crown. Here's the memorial. Is it a memorial? I don't know what it is. A statue, whatever, where a lot of the action is filmed. The shootout, where they're hiding behind it, where Danny reverses into it, where the hoodies sit, etc, etc. And that's where Nicholas throws his money into the wishing well. Down there you can see that's where Nicholas comes up on the horse, which is the road that we've walked up past, which would have been Summerfield and the shop. This is where Danny's car would have been parked. You're not going to drive that, are you? No. And then he backed it at speed here and just missed Nicholas.
Send bloody hoodies, Frank.
Obviously all these arches had hanging baskets on them in the film, but you get that the dray lorry, the beer lorry, was parked along here, and this is where the main shootout occurred, in this area. Everything is really, really close together, as with everything in films. It's quite strange how one thing looks a long way from another, but it isn't. So yeah, it's a main square. As we say, I think they're the gates where Stephen Merchant stands with Nicholas, and or should I say Peter Ian Staker, and we're going to go through there anyway. Yeah, it's 2 foot tall, long slender neck. Well, it's a swan. So going through the archway, you can see there's a little gate. This is another one of the really most famous parts. This is where Nicholas does his jogging along there. So we're walking towards where he comes. There's our first sighting of a swan, but they're always in pairs, aren't they? So yeah, Nicholas is jogging along here to music of the Kinks, I think it is. So we're now walking along the moat that surrounds the Bishop's Palace. Unfortunately, it's closed. We cannot go in and film the location where the NWA meet at the end of the film, and obviously the chase in the dark starts with Nicholas. It's closed today, whether it's because, as I say, we're filming this between Christmas and New Year, I don't know. There's a jogger coming now. Could be Simon Skinner. He had a career before as a fun runner. Sissy Skinner. What a gaylord. Christmas closure. The Bishop's Palace and Gardens will be closed from 4 PM until January the 4th. Unfortunately, we've missed it. So, if you look, you can just see the ruined part of the walls there, where it was filmed. Can you see that? You may have to really squint. I can see it. Okay, a very uninspiring lay-by, but very poignant to the film. Sadly, that's not a Saab 900 Turbo in yellow. Yeah, this is the site of the traffic collision. It's not an accident, because an accident would imply there's no one to blame. I think they left the road here and ended up here. Sergeant Angel? Right, we should set up a cordon, etc, etc. There's the road where you see Skinner drive up, and they're putting out all the cones along the road here. The demise of Eve Draper and Martin Blower. This is also the lay-by that they pulled them up for earlier in the film for speeding. Use the same location. Again, the chase scene would have been somewhere else. The power of the films, not everything is filmed in the same location on the same day, but there we go. Right, so this took some walking to. This is probably the furthest out of town location that we found. So if you imagine Nicholas has just come chasing Pete out of Summerfield and all through the high street, and then they're running down a little alleyway. This alleyway is actually a good mile and a half away, and I don't think this is the whole of the alleyways that they use either. You know, there's multiple locations. I guess there's multiple camera angles as well, but this is the main one that they're chasing down, where he meets the mothers with the prams and actually sees the Swan as well, and has that decision on whether he's going to stop for the Swan or carry on the chase. There is a section down here where you do just see in the film someone's garage door on the right hand side, which will be a point of reference. But yeah, again, I'm not sure of exact locations. We know that we're in the alleyway. Don't know how much of which scene that they used. You know, this wall may not have been in the chase for argument's sake, but we're in the right area. And again, I don't know if when it gets to the end, the field where he throws the paint can and hits him on the head, he's actually there, because the allotment fence jumping is completely different area, and you can't get to that. It's private property anyway. So you know how movies work. They cut shots in and out. We're never going to get a full representation of the movie, but it's nice to see some of the locations as we're going along. You can see where I've just come from, where I was walking down. We're not sure if we're walking the right way or the wrong way. We think they film multiple angles in the film when they're doing the chase scene, so we could have been running up there and down there depending on how they filmed it. But if we follow the camera around now, this little alleyway here, we think these might be one of the garage doors as he runs past, but we're not 100%. Our accuracy is thrown away because we have got no signal on the phone to double check. Google Maps isn't working. But if we're right, he's going to come out here and grab the paint can off the kids and throw it and hit Pete in this field. We think. Crucify me in the comments if I'm wrong. But obviously this film was filmed in 2006. You're seeing this at the very end of 2022, so I'm actually going to put 2023 in the title because it will be uploaded in 2023. So, a completely different location in the city, and we're quite a distance away from the other part of the chase scene where Nicholas is chasing Pete. But again, the power of TV, you don't realise, you know, how much they cut and paste all different things together. But we are, as I say, we are nowhere near the original part, and we're nowhere near the centre of the town really. This is called Lover's Lane, and some of the chase parts were done down here, and this is the area where he meets the moms down here. Right, so the gates have changed. We got confused, the gates have changed. This is the part where he meets the mothers. Straight in front you can see the bollards and the bin for reference. Right, these weird traffic lights, we're not sure which set. We're on Chamberlain Street now. Somewhere around this, according to the internet, is where Nicholas throws the bag of paint cans to the hoodies and says, do you guys want to do something to help? And they spray out the CCTV cameras so that the NWA can't see what's going on. As I say, not sure 100% on the location, but it says Chamberlain Street. This is Chamberlain Street. And then if we actually turn right here, this takes us back down to the Swan, where the whole film begins. Okay, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Seems quite appropriate. We're outside the Swan, which is where we first see Nicholas in Sanford. Thanks for watching. Apologies to my usual viewers on the Campervan channel for indulging me the Hot Fuzz locations tour. I know it's normally about the camping and the stuff we do together, me and Heather, but I had to host the video somewhere. Seems very appropriate that, seeing as we always have the little joke on the vlogs about one Swan, that we actually host it on the channel. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you've watched this video just through searching Hot Fuzz, I appreciate that. If you could give it a like, and if you do like travel journals, maybe you'd consider subscribing to the channel as well, that'd be great. There are a few more location visits that we've done. Detectorists was a good one. I'll link that anyway. We've done Heartbeat, Doc Martin, stuff like that. And there may be more in the future. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on another one. See you later. Bye bye. A little bit of bonus footage. This is nothing at all to do with the film, other than the premiere of Hot Fuzz in February 2007 was held at the cinema in Wells, which we're at now. I'm not sure if it's still open. It looks pretty closed down to me. Yeah, I think the cinema is possibly now a nightclub.